So, in a recent episode, we talked a little bit more about kind of getting firm emotional understanding and understanding some of the emotional mechanics. Now, I want to go into some of the specific emotions that you might experience, or some of the kind of drivers or things behind your emotional conditions that become important to understand how they work and use them to your sort of best advantage. So, today I want to talk about desire. We oftentimes will demonize things like being desirous of things. We'll demonize them as being either hedonistic or inappropriate or in some cases short-sighted. And it's important to understand that the function of desire, sort of mentally as a construct, is not any of those things. It is non-judgmental. So the desire function, the seeker function, the I want to go find this and get it function that you turn on in your brain when you see something that looks good or looks like something you want is just that. It's a function in your brain. It is very much, if in a programming language, it's a subroutine, right? It is a thing that you execute when you find something that is going to deliver some value to you in some way. What's important is a couple of things. If you want to kind of study the mechanics of desire for just 5 seconds in your head in reflection, there's a couple of truths about desire that are important to know. The first is desire can never be satisfied. So you can desire things all day, every day. The moment you get it, desire doesn't go away. It just goes on to the next thing. It's the function of desire is to desire. It has no point where that function sort of eliminates itself from the human mind. It will always be there, and you'll always want something. You'll always want to, eat, or to move into the shade, or move into the sun, or move into the warm, or move into the cold, whatever, right? You're always going to want something. And desire doesn't really care if that ever gets satisfied in a lot of ways. It just kind of wants. You'll order something from, a provider on the internet, and it'll get there. And before you know it, it does not deliver. It doesn't solve the desire problem, right? So truth one about desire is always there. Truth two about desire, and this is also kind of equally important, desire is non-judgmental, right? You will desire things regardless of whether or not that desire is moral, rational, or in any way good or productive, right? Desire just grabs it and goes. It doesn't care. So it's important to understand that your desires, regardless of what they are not necessarily coming from a place that is indicative of your character or your quality as an individual. They just show up. It just shows up and does that. It just shows up and desires stuff. The longer you sit in meditation, or the longer you sit in quiet and watch the operation of desire as a function, the crazier stuff comes up. The crazy, the mind creates these amazing little wonderful scenarios that just try and keep pulling you into something to get you desirous. Again, none of them make sense. None of them are rational, and that's okay. What's important about desire is understanding when to give it the wheel and let it kind of do the driving versus when you just kind of let it sit there and say it wants stuff. So when desire should be in charge, it should be against a rational, meaningful goal that you have. It should be aligned to helping you achieve your overall objectives. Desire is oftentimes activated whenever you feel maybe like you're having a bad day. Desire kicks in and wants to kind of medicate. It wants to fix it. It wants to make you better. So this is where desire is used as a sort of mental function to go find the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll. It's the place where that sort of function will kick in to try and make a bad day better, because nobody likes sitting in the middle of a bad day. But it's important to only use desire where it's appropriate, right? To only activate that sort of seeker function, that desirous function, when it's going to help you move your life to a better spot. and not indulge the desire function on stuff that's just sort of band-aid solutions. If you master that, if you can figure this out, what it is, how it is, and when it works, you can really stop being victim to the sort of dopamine cycle that you'll see in a lot of other kind of YouTubers and stuff like that. If you go out and start looking, people are starting to do things like dopamine fasting without understanding that the desire function doesn't care. It just does what you tell it. If you give it something better to desire and can work it a little bit, it's going to be a lot better for you. We demonize desire as a thing. So as you start doing the work here, understand when and where and sort of why to activate desire as a toolkit in your arsenal of ways to move you forward, and use it to solve the problems that desire can help you solve. So what's an example of that? Great examples would be, desiring longer term outcomes that require short term behavior. So, getting fit, turning on desire to help you want to exercise is awesome. Sometimes that means use the desire function to help you do your meal planning, or help you do your activity planning, or help you, literally get in the car and go to the gym, or whatever, right? That desire function can be used to help you satisfy all of those kind of interim steps, and start using the function to speak to those sort of intervening pieces, those small pieces, so that longer term, the outcomes that you're really driving for, you can meet. But don't demonize it. Just use it appropriately, and I think you'll find that you get a whole lot further with it.